Yo, welcome to Lockercode, where football is not just fantasy, but our reality, where you can express your excitement, your tensions, or even frustrations about the games, your team, your league, and performances of players. Let's go! Yo, welcome back, my boys.
Yo. What's good?
We had a great Battle Monday, though, man.
Yes, we did. That was a close Battle Monday.
That was a close one. That was good though. That was good. What's funny?
Decision.
I have a funny story. So today I was listening to Fantasy Radio on XM, and they have another segment, like a segment similar to this on one of the shows. And the first names that they brought up was Joe Mixon versus Gibson. I was like, get the hell out of here. I was like, come on. Yeah. And the second one was Julio, but they didn't do Mike Evans. They did Julio versus Robert Woods. And I was like, man, that's pretty close to call. Like, but anyway.
Actually, I would take Robert Woods, though.
Because Robert Woods is...
Julio, yeah. He's going to be more consistent. Yeah. Considering the quarterback, he's going to be more consistent.
Let me ask you guys a question, being that you said that. If you were facing a situation where you're picking between Gibson and Mixon, probably that would be like in the second round.
Right.
Second round. Would you pick one of them, or would you opt for something else that's more sure?
I'm opting for something else that's more sure.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on who is there. Because for you to consider Joe Mixon or
Gibson,
I'm gonna assume that Adams, Hill, Ridley, and what's his name from Bills,
Diggs.
I'm assuming those guys are off the board.
But would you?
So if any of those four, those are the only four that I will pick over those.
But what? All right. What if there's an Eckler available?
Hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah!
Or a Najee.
I would take Najee Harris, Eckler. Yeah, I take Najee Harris, Eckler, and I would even take Akers over him. To be honest with you,
that injury is hard to get off of, man, especially with Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I would take any one of those three running backs. So those are.
And what about Dobbins?
7 players that I will pick over him.
I'm not a fan of that one because of the fact that you have Lamar Jackson running that ball, you got J.K., and you got Gus that just re-signed, so he's gonna get the ball too.
Yeah, but Gus has been there. Jackson's been doing what he's doing, and yet look at what Ingram did, right? And look at what Dobbins did at the end of the year after they took Ingram out. So it's when with Gus being there, relieve, you know what I mean? So,
but I think this
that one I would honestly consider, to be honest.
I wouldn't consider only because also this year they're planning to try to make Lamar Jackson that passer.
A passer, but so not only that though. But wait, not only that. Like in the news today, like Lamar Jackson has been passing the ball out of the backfield, like passing the ball to running backs and passing the ball to Dobbins, not Gus Edwards, because Gus Edwards doesn't catch that much. So if they improve on that catching ability for Dobbins, then that's going to be sick.
Man, you got a lot to think about, bro, because you either got J.K. Dobbins.
No, I already made my decision. My decision will be announced on July 10th, as y'all know.
What are you, LeBron?
July 10th is that's the deadline, man.
This guy here.
I was talking to the commish recently, and I was like, if everybody picked, put in the group that they pick their keepers, would you just go ahead and finalize it? And she was like, yeah, if everybody come to me and say, they already choose their keepers.
My keeper's already been there. Like I said,
I'm not in a rush, too.
You're not in a rush?
Not in a rush.
My keeper has been kept since January, my dude. That's all it is.
I know who I'm keeping, but I haven't selected it yet. I just haven't gone out.
Justin Jefferson.
I know it's Justin Jefferson for you, bro. Right?
July 10th is the deadline?
Yeah, July 10th is the deadline. So in a week. I can wait a week.
No,
this week.
So it's next. I think it's what, next Friday, next Saturday is the deadline. Next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah,
Something like that,
yeah.
Yeah. So you better make that decision this week. If not, everybody goes to the
First round.
field. Yeah.
I'll make mine for sure this week.
Yeah, man. So how was the weekend, y'all boys?
Weekend was good. Vacay with my bros, so weekend was good.
Oh yeah, that's right. You went out, flying out again. Dubai.
Damn. I don't even. Oh yeah. Weekend was okay. Saturday I went out, but other than that I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I went. Oh, weekend we went straight. We went to the beach over the weekend, man. So enjoyed time with
Yeah.
my family and all, man. So it was,
Oh yeah. I call you. I'll call you on Sunday. I was out
Yeah.
crabbing, and then
That was our plan.
when I eat you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's pretty much what I did over the weekend. I brought the kids with me and all that stuff, so just chilling with them. That made my weekend, made my
You
Sunday.
caught a lot of crap.
Yeah, man, probably like 3 dozen.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so 3 dozen. I caught them and gave a bunch of them away. You know, so a lot of people.
Let's rock out, man. We had a great show today, man. We talking about NFC South Division, looking at Saints, Bucks, Panthers, and Falcons, my dude.
This is the division right here.
Yeah,
This is that division. This is that division where my boy PJ, that's his team right now.
For right now.
It's only right for PJ to lead off.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So
It's only right for PJ to lead off.
We got the Saints went 12-4, Bucks went 11-5, Panthers went 5-11, and the Falcons went 4-12 last year. Did you expect that order? Like, I mean, let's just talk about the Bucks in general. What were your expectations with the Bucks and how they did, and just as a team and just even fantasy as they did last year?
I mean, we all had high expectations for the Buccaneers, and I think if you saw throughout the season, there were many ups and downs, growing pains, getting to know each other, and the timing and stuff like that. But in the end, it all came together, and they won a Super Bowl. They took down Pat Mahomes. It was a good Super Bowl. A lot has to go to credit mostly to the defense, because their defense was good the year before and got better, obviously. The offense was good enough, but I think we're going to see some improvements this year. The Saints were good. The Saints were always the Saints that they've been the last 4 or 5 years. They just can't get over that hump, man. They lost to Breeze. I think they're going to take a major step back in this division because they have the head of the snake. They don't know who that is yet, and I think that's a problem. The biggest disappointment has been the Falcons, looking at their squad last year, and I don't expect them to finish at the bottom of this division again. If they finish at the bottom of this division, it's a problem.
All right, for me, I expect the Falcons to finish at the bottom of this division again. Reason being, all right, let's start with the good teams, right? The Bucks, obviously, the Bucks has pretty much like 90% of their players coming back, and their defense was a beast, and the defense
100% of their players coming back. 100% signed.
I know, right? That is crazy. I've never seen that from a Super Bowl winning team ever. So the mere fact that they have a mirror image of their team coming back, and with their struggles, as PJ said, it's more getting on the same page with Tom Brady, right? And just to show you, that's the respect that all the wide receivers, even the defensive player, have for Tom Brady, to where like we're all signing back because we feel like we can, repeat this. You know what I mean? So I see them winning this division again. I don't think there's anybody in this division that will give them a challenge. And to be honest with you, their records were 11-5. I'm easily seeing probably 13-4. Or that's how good I think they're going to be. With Tom Brady getting familiar with the wide receiver, you can see that coming to the end of the year, he got comfortable with the wide receivers. The wide receiver got comfortable with him, and now they have Antonio Brown for a full season. I expect them to be a really, really crazy team on offense. Yeah. And their defense is no slouch either. They're going to finish as a top 5 defense again. So I see them finishing the league and finishing that division in first place. As for the Saints, too much inconsistency, man. As far as maybe they know and they're just not disclosing it, but the mere fact that you have 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different styles, that can create an issue for the offense. the wide receiver may be used to one style, and then you have to switch it up because this person can't pass down the field or this person is going to run the ball. I feel like the Saints is not going to win that division again. I think the Saints is probably either going to be third place to fourth in that division just because of their indecision of the quarterback. Panthers much improved. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is ready for this prime time that's about to happen.
Not Trevor. Not Trevor.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Sorry. Like, granted, he had one of the worst coaches in NFL history coaching him last year. But seriously though, he had one of the worst coaching him last year, and the coach was probably only 2 plays, and he just keep calling those 2 plays. Swing out to the right, pass the ball. So Sam Darnold's going in a way better offense, but I don't think the weapons measure up enough to give Tampa Bay a fight. You know what I mean? So, but they can move up a notch to second place as being the second best team in that division because they have a running back, right? Yeah. They have a decent quarterback, right? And they have weapons on the outside. So they seem like a more well-rounded team than the Saints on offense. As far as defense, I don't know what's going to happen on defense. This is why I said the Falcons can finish at the end of it. Not much improvement on the defense, right? And that was their Achilles heel last year. They were putting up numbers. Like, if you look at their games, man, they were like 20 plus, 30 plus points every game, but they cannot defend the ball. They lost a couple of games in the fourth quarter when they had to lead the entire game because their defense just cannot play. And I didn't see them do much on defense to say, they have improved that much. And now they lost one of their crazy weapons, even though they gained one. I just don't see them being a force in this team without that defense, because everybody else improved their offense other than the Saints. And but the Saints has a good defense that's going to help them out. And other than that, the Falcons didn't do much more than just rotate player on the offense.
I think that's what I agree with you on that, because I feel the same way. I think Falcons is going to be right. They were actually my biggest bust for that division for last year. I was surprised that they were, ranked at the end or fourth in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I still see them in fourth in the division because of that defense. Like you said, everybody in that division has good defense. Falcons, the Saints and the Bucks. Panthers is building their defense. Falcons hasn't done anything that well to build their defense right now. So I agree 100% on that one. It was a surprise to me that the Falcons was last, even with the additions that they got right now. But they lost Julio. If they were able to keep Julio, Pitts, Gage is still there, Ridley's still there, we're looking at, wow, this is a crazy division. Even if they would have went, to be honest with you, I still feel like they should have went Fields over Pitts to look at the future, and kept Julio. I think that would have been exciting to see too.
But my thing is, all right, just to ask you about that, like, so you think they should have took Justin Fields over, but what did Matt Ryan do last year that was so bad?
He didn't do anything bad. He didn't nothing at all bad.
So why that would be the same? It would be similar to what they did in Green Bay. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Matt Ryan was still passing the ball. Matt Ryan was still doing. It's just the defense, bro. It's to me that's why they lost a ton of games. It's not Matt Ryan.
They had to lose one of them. It was either Julio or Matt Ryan. I think I would have went for the future, as I stated, and kept Fields. I have a tight end. Right, I do with Hurst. I had a tight end. Obviously, he's not hits, but I have a tight end. Getting Fields for the future, even if I would have lost Julio, I would have got another receiver later on next year and paired it with Fields, and my future would have still been going on in that division.
Yeah, but Julio can play a season. When's the last time you see Matt Ryan out of the game? Like, you have to think about all that stuff too. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
And how many years does Julio have left? 2 tops.
I see Matt Ryan with the same amount of years, man.
I think Matt Ryan still got a lot of that.
More years.
Yeah.
And then
5 years left in him.
Yeah.
Not only that, man. Julio never played a full season. When's the last time Julio played a full season?
I agree with you.
So that's what I'm looking at. So I think they did it right.
I think you're going to get. You could get 4 strong years out of Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan versus Julio, you probably get 2, and you probably get in 2 years. You probably get like what, 17 games. Yeah, like
So
even though it's 2 years, you get one season out of him. You know what I mean?
I honestly think, like I said, Falcons and Panthers are going to be fighting for the last division. Falcons and the Saints, because there's just too much inconsistency with the Saints, what helps Panthers a lot more because they're getting the number 2 spot and they may just get into the playoffs with Sam Darnold and the new coach.
I agree.
So it may look like the coach is doing a great job, but it's just probably just that division. You know what I mean? All right, man. So let's go to the second quarter, man. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. Right? Like we said last year, they went 12-4 last year, better record than the Bucks. Who should we root for, bro? Just fantasy wise, football. Who are we rooting for? Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill?
So to me, Taysom Hill is a specialty quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Jameis Winston, he could throw. He has an arm. You have Michael Thomas. You have Kamara. You have guys that can catch the football. Right. They need someone who could throw them the football. You know, Mike Evans was a top receiver, top 5 receiver, fantasy wise, and talent wise with Jameis Winston, and we saw what Godwin did the last year that Jameis Winston was there. So I don't understand why Taysom Hill got the contract that he got, and I don't understand why this is a debate. Taysom Hill should come in just like he did for Breeze and be a specialty guy every now and then, and that nothing more, nothing less. A quarterback is supposed to throw the football. That's like, come on.
100% agree with you, man. I can't even express. It's like, stop playing games, man. Like, I don't understand the coach's love for Taysom Hill. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. Like, look, granted, the 30 for 30 dude, you know, yeah, he threw a 30 interception, but people make mistakes, man. It's not like he threw a 30 for all his years in the league.
But he also threw a bunch of touchdowns, too.
Exactly, yeah. The dude still finished a top 5 quarterback, even though he threw 30. But I get it. Like, you can't win games throwing interceptions like that. But at the same time, like, you have to give your weapons the opportunity to perform. Like, you drafting other players on the team. You have the Kamara. You have Thomas. You have, you know what I mean? You have the tight end and all that stuff. You need weapons. You have to make sure your weapon flourish for you to be successful in this league. You cannot just, hey, go ahead and run the ball. And as you say, you don't understand that contract. I was like, what? When I heard about that signing, I was like, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe it.
Everybody's getting signed right now, big money with the Saints right now.
Yep.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't understand it either.
Do you think Alvin Kamara is still a running back one because of this situation with Taysom Hill?
For me, man, if it's Taysom Hill and they announce like Taysom Hill will be your starter and probably play most of the snaps.
Let's say they don't announce that. You're in your draft night. They haven't announced it, and it's a week to 2 weeks before the season starts. You draft him. Is Alvin Kamara a running back one, first round draft pick? No, he's not. No, he's not. Like, let me give you, like, check out this game log, man, when Taysom Hill was starting. Versus San Francisco, 8 attempts, right? Rushing attempts, 8 rushing attempts, 15 yards, reception 7. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? 13 rushing attempts, 11 rushing attempts. Like, those are not, 9 rushing. Those are not running back one kind of attempts in a game, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Alvin Kamara was getting 1 target, 3 targets, 2 targets. That's not his game, bro. Like, that is not his game. He plays out of the backfield. He makes people miss. He's dynamic when he hits that open field. Like, you need somebody that, that's going to give him the ball, not tuck the ball in and run. Like, that's like, all right, that's like you saying that he's like similar to Dobbins, right? Like, you're going to say, what's his name is going to take? Jackson's going to take a lot of the carries. Taysom Hill is even worse, dude. I don't know, man. When Taysom starts running that ball, you take that food away from Alvin Kamara, and Alvin needs that ball in his hands, on the outside or just inside running that ball in order to just start him up. Because once Alvin starts up, it's hard to stop him, and it opens up for the receivers to catch the ball and everybody else to catch the ball. And, it doesn't work that way when Taysom starts running that ball and taking over because now the receivers are not getting the ball and Alvin Kamara's not getting the ball. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You feel the same way, P, or what? What's up?
Yeah. Like, he's not he's not that. I agree with you.
So, all right, let me put your question a different way. So, not knowing entering the season,
Yep.
you come up to the NFF draft, you ready to draft, and Kamara is there in the first round.
I'm so scared.
At what position? You don't know where your draft pick is as yet, but what number are you okay drafting this to? Seriously.
I don't know.
What about you, PJ?
I'm trying to think right now.
I feel like it's crazy to say it. I would feel comfortable in third, but it's not gonna happen. But
I would draft him in the first round, but late first for me. That's how I see it. I can't. There's a couple guys that I'm definitely leaning on over him.
But
I can't take that gamble.
The first round is tough though, man, because you're looking at what's there for sure guys. So he really would slip down to the second round if you're not sure. And because the second round is like the 50-50 guys, the Joe Mixon, right? JK, well, not JK, but Joe Mixon is out there. Who else is out there? Antonio Gibson is out there in the middle of that. So it's kind of like, okay, do I go with Antonio because he's injured, or I go with Alvin Kamara and call it a day? And that's where you would be at least with me.
To me though, he's talented enough where no matter what the quarterback situation is going to be, I think he'll still produce really good numbers. It may not start out that way because they're figuring things out, but eventually they have to correct this shit. Yeah. So maybe that's week 5, week 6, but to me, I would lean towards taking him in the later first round.
All right, for me, I'm a lot different, man. And I'm huge on running backs. I'm actually huge on Kamara too. But I gotta say this, and this is going against all my better judgment and everything. If Alvin Kamara if they don't announce who the quarterback is, or even if they announce that Taysom Hill is the quarterback, Alvin Kamara is not a first round pick for me. I will pick Eckler over Alvin Kamara, to be honest with you. I will pick Aaron Jones over Alvin Kamara. Dude, just check out the dynamic. You have to look at stats, right? That's what we depend on, right? So, first game, Taysom Hill was in it. 13 carries for 45 yards, 0 catches, right? See, Denver, 11 attempts for 54 yards, 1 reception. Okay? Philly, 11 attempts for 50 yards, 7 reception for 10 yards. Dude, I'm sorry. The numbers don't lie, man. It's just.
But I don't think the Taysom Hill thing is going to work out. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think it is too. But I mean, just in a scenario that he does start, right? So
right. If they announce that
you would pick him in the first round and say, hey, listen, it's not going to work out with Taysom.
They're going to give Taysom at least 3 to 4 weeks. I don't want to gamble 3. It's so hard to come back in fantasy after you've lost 3 games.
Yeah,
it is so hard to come back. So I'm not taking that chance. I want to know that if I'm picking somebody in the first round, he is like a sure thing unless it's an injury. I'm not taking him out for nobody. Because that's what I want.
See how with me and Zeke was. It's like I'm not taking him out. Like he's my first round guy. Like I have to keep him in. I'm expecting as a first rounder to get 17 to 20, 22 points.
Every game.
Not doing
every
that.
Game.
That's a gamble you're going to lose for 4 weeks, and that is
for 4 weeks, and that could cost you 4 weeks of games. And then when you're down that deep, it's pretty tough. It doesn't matter how much points Kamara is going to come from that point on. That's just my take. What about Michael Thomas?
I was just about to say that. What about Thomas? Breeze is gone. What do you think Thomas is going to do just fantasy-wise this season? Is he the wide receiver 1? I mean, is he the guy that – I mean, obviously he's not ranked first rounder, right? But would you go after him in a second? Is he a third-round guy now?
Personally, I think that if when Jameis Winston is starting, He's a first round guy.
He's a definite. It's like
he's going to be
he's
a
steal.
Yeah,
he's a steal if James was to start.
And I think people should look at it that way. You know, like you could obviously. I think that people are not looking at him. He's probably going third round, fourth round, somewhere around there. So if you could get him and then Winston comes in, you could potentially have a first round guy that you picked in the fourth round.
Winston's going to throw that ball. I don't care if the Saints are.
And he's one of those that peppers. He's one of those quarterbacks that favors a specific receiver and peppers him with
targets. Yeah. He will force it if he needs to. He will force it if he needs to. I think all right, so for me, Thomas, yes. Thomas is a wide receiver one, either or. You know what I mean? Because he performed when Taysom Hill was there. You know what I mean? Granted, he had 200-yard games, 84-yard game, and a 50-yard game. That was a bad game against Denver. But other than that, like he will still perform with Taysom there because Taysom locks in on him. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Taysom already showed favoritism with him. So I feel like, and they don't. Who else do they have? Traquan Smith. Yeah. They don't really have anybody else that can catch the ball. So the mere fact that they're so depleted at a wide receiver, I think he's a wide receiver one, no matter how you slice it. It's just a matter that he will have a better projection if it's Jameis Winston. Yeah. That's just my take.
Now you brought up Traquan Smith, and let's talk about Latavius Murray too. How is their fantasy value? What do you think their fantasy value is with Traquan as wide receiver? I'm assuming wide receiver too, and also Latavius Murray. And what round?
Latavius has value. I think we had this conversation in our chat the other day. Right. Latavius have independent value, especially if Taysom starting to just like those goal line carries and so forth. So I like if I'm getting Kamara. You best be sure I'm going after. I'm going after that dude because it's not about injury for me. I just think Latavius has like a good flex value. He averaged decent points. You know what I mean? He averaged decent points last year, and Kamara wasn't down. You know what I mean? So for a running back to have that, like compared to him and Kamara, right? Kamara had the touchdowns. Granted, because of Drew Brees and everything like that. So Kamara had the 16 touchdowns. But as far as yardage go and attempts, Kamara had 187 attempts, and Latavius Murray had 146 attempts. Kamara had 900 yards. He had 656 yards. So you see what I'm saying? He has standalone volume. It's just the fact that Kamara has that reception volume, the reception volume, and the touchdown volume. But if Taysom Hill is the quarterback, Latavius may have more value than Kamara, but have increase of value as far as attempts and more touchdowns goes because of just how Taysom Hill plays. You know what I mean? So
with the right quarterback, Kamara is arguably the number 2 receiver on that team.
Yeah,
exactly. I agree with that. He had 87 reception last year, which is pretty cool. As far as the other wide receivers on the team, man. I don't even know what to do with him. Like Traquan Smith, the dude got drafted so high. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a first round pick.
No. He was I think a third round pick. But still, good. That was a good round to get a receiver.
Yeah, and he just needs to step up. There is really nobody else because Sanders is gone, right? Yep. I mean, yes, they have Callaway. Yes, they have, but none of these. Traquan is the true number 2. So. What are you going to do? Like, this is your year to, step up and if it's Jameis Winston though, because Traquan can stretch that field. If it's Jameis Winston, he's going to have a lot of value. I'll tell you that. He's going to be able to stretch that field.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't go after a wide receiver earlier in the draft. They picked up a wide receiver in the 7th round, Kawan Baker, but they end up getting a quarterback, Ian Book, in round 4. And I would assume that, hey, listen, why not get a wide receiver in round 4? You sign, I'm assuming Winston's going to win the job, right? So you're going to have to sign Winston for a long deal contract after this 1 year. And you already, signed a long deal contract with Taysom Hill. Why go after another quarterback in round 4? Like, you're someone is going to be out. So is it Winston or is it Taysom on this contract? So why not get a wide receiver that you feel like, hey, they can be that Robin to
To to me, that shows
Michael
that they're just
Thomas?
unsure. Like
Yeah,
that's what that shows. Like they show that they don't know what everything is up in the air as far as the quarterback situation.
yeah,
Isn't that crazy though to know that like what we're talking about now is like our projection is so significantly different based on the quarterback that they start, right?
yep.
If it's Jameis Winston, we have a different projection for all the position players, all the specialty
The wide
players on that
receivers
team.
and the running back.
Compared to if it's Taysom Hill, we have a different projection. Sadly, the projection for if it's Taysom Hill is lower for all the position players,
Every position.
but it's higher for the quarterback because Taysom Hill is going to take a lot of those carries and rush it, right? And a lot of rushing touchdowns for him. So he's going to have great fantasy value. And that's going to be the highest fantasy value if Taysom Hill is a quarterback. When it's the flip side, Jameis Winston is going to have some fantasy value, but you can use the wide receiver with confidence and the running backs with confidence.
Yep.
And I just, as I said, I just don't understand the contract. I just don't understand the battle between the two. It's not like they have the same kind of game. You know what I mean? They're totally different quarterback. And I just think I think there's going to be Jameis, to be honest with you. And that's why I think they didn't go out and get a wide receiver because they know that Traquan can stretch the field and Michael Thomas can play that intermediate. And then, they can probably get somebody after the cuts, like the first cuts to go ahead and just put in as another wide receiver. And that will be their wide receiver group. But other than that, man, that's why I think they're going to be in the bottom two of this just because of those inconsistencies and those not sure. So I just don't like that. There's fantasy value on the team, but it's just you're just not sure, man.
You're not sure. Too much question mark.
Too many question marks, man.
So we got obviously the champ and the champs. PJ's favorite team, Tampa Bay Bucks, right? They the champs, right?
I like when you compare me to winners.
I got you, the champ and the champ. I know you were going to like that. I wanted to start it off right. You know what I'm saying? Respect.
Boy, put some respect on your name, my dude.
Respect. I put respect on your name. You know what I mean? So they won the championship, man. They brought everybody back at 100%. Their defense is incredible right now. Could Tom Brady be even better in the second year?
I think
that's the only way I project him. I hate to say it. That's the only way I project Tom Brady. Tom Brady is still going to be a top 10 quarterback for sure in this league come next year. You have another year with these wide receivers. You have an off season with these wide receivers, bro. I'm dying to see what else Tom Brady is going to do. Like they're going to be a force to reckon with. Like every week, like. I don't know, man. I don't think there's anybody. There are teams that can give them a run for their money, but I think they're going to come out even more dynamic with a bigger. Like it's just a great team right now. Tampa Bay is a great sports town right now. Like I don't even know if you noticed. Like the Lightning, Lightning is going. They're doing good.
Yeah.
The Rays is doing good. I'm like, man, it's a good time to be a sports fan in Tampa right now.
Now, same question to you, P. I mean, that's just your squad. So, what do you feel? Do you think Tom does well? Do you think he's
So overall, I think a team gets better two ways: by adding better talent, or the individual players get better. So I think individually and collectively as a team, they're going to get better. The timing, the offense is going to look better. They're going to be more comfortable with each other. Players are going to know their roles, which is highly important. And I think with Tom Brady, that leadership, players will know their role and respect their role and play in their role accordingly. And I think that, like Ren said, they're going to be a team to reckon with and the team to beat. Going in, to me, they're the team to beat and not Kansas City.
Now,
I agree.
Now, here's a big one right here. Going on ADP, we've done multiple mock drafts right now. Is Tom Brady undervalued in ADP? Because we've seen him going, round 13, 14th round. Should he actually go in 7th or 8th, 6th even?
To me, he deserves a roster spot. He shouldn't be on waivers, but he should be your second quarterback on your team. The funny thing about Tampa in general, when we look at the team that we just talked about, the Saints, they have great fantasy players, right? It's just a question mark. But with so much talent on Tampa, it's not really a fantasy friendly team. Mike Evans is, very touchdown dependent. Um, you don't know what you're going to get from AB. Godwin, you're not sure. There's not a lot of volume to go around with the players. So Tom Brady is going to have some big games, but you got to remember that defense is also good too. So, and you got to remember they have a running game as well. They have it's so much like they're a great football team, but not a great fantasy team, players wise collectively. Everything is split.
Right. No, I agree with you. So Tom Brady right now, ADP wise, Tom Brady is the ninth quarterback coming off the board, right? The ninth quarterback coming off the board, and he's coming off this is a best ball ADP. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of different. He's coming off. It's kind of different from redraft leagues. So he's coming off in the seventh round, the beginning of the seventh round. Tom Brady is being drafted right now in best ball ADP. What do you guys think? You think that it's too high for him, too low for him? I know you guys love quarterbacks early, so let's hear.
He's not a quarterback I would draft because he's not dynamic enough.
Yeah.
That is the thing. You have more dynamic quarterbacks out there, and he's not from a fantasy standpoint. How many shootouts is he going to be in? Those are things that you have to look at. Like the defense is really good. He has a run game. He has multiple weapons. So to me, he deserves a position. He deserves a spot on the roster. He shouldn't be on waivers, but he's not going to give you explode for 30 points. He'll hover around that 17 to 23 points somewhat consistently.
Now,
I mean, so just to put some things into perspective, Tom Brady finished as a number 7 quarterback last year.
Yeah, he did. And that's what I'm saying, finishing at the number 7 quarterback.
And Pat Mahomes finished as the number 6 quarterback last year.
Pat was injured too, so.
Huh?
Pat was injured, so.
But. Yeah.
He only missed one game. So he only missed one game. So even if you add
that's 400 yards right there, bro. What are you talking about? That's from 6 to 3.
Not close. So that 400 yards right there is equate to 15, 16 points, and give him 2 touchdowns on top of that. So give him 25
touchdowns. Yo, that boy getting
2, 3 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns for one game. Have you ever scored 5 touchdowns in any game? Probably one game in his entire career. So what are you talking about?
He has, yo. So let's go. We were talking about the receivers and Tom Brady passing, right? They picked up Jalen Darlene in a round 4 receiver. You got Antonio Brown is back. You got Godwin, and you got Mike Evans. Is there enough value for everybody to get the ball? And who's your fantasy guy?
To me, it's Mike Evans. To me, that's his favorite target. He locks in on him in the red zone. This team, so fantasy success is based a lot on volume. It's too much. It's only one ball and too much mouth to feed, man. Yeah. That's honestly what it is. Godwin was a monster, and now, he is. He's like a Jarvis Landry. It's. We don't know what we're going to get from Antonio Brown. To me, if you draft them right in the right positions, if you could get them in late rounds, and they all have good ceilings, but they also have low floors.
For me, man, I know you say, I agree with you. He looks for Mike Evans because he's a big body in the end zone. So he looked for Mike Evans in the end zone. I don't think Mike Evans is his favorite target, though. The reason being, check this out. So Chris Godwin played 4 games less than Mike Evans. But Mike Evans only had 5 more catches than Chris Godwin. You know what I mean? So I think Godwin is his favorite receiver, is in the middle of the field, but for some reason in the end zone, he only looks one way, and that's Mike Evans. So that's where Mike Evans is going to eat. Yeah, the big body that he can actually box out, the small corners and all that stuff. When he goes to the to the side and whatever, Mike Evans uses his body a lot in the end zone. So I think that's where Mike Evans is going to eat. And then Mike Evans with those long bombs, against the shorter corners, he can just put it up and Mike Evans can jump and get it. Chris Godwin, though, as far as volume and touches go, I think Chris Godwin will be it in the middle of the field, those intermediate passes. But and I think they're probably going to finish at around the same, considering Chris Godwin is not going to get the touchdown volume that Mike Evans is going to get, and Mike Evans is going to get not going to get the yardage that Chris Godwin is going to get. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to finish in the same. But that Antonio Brown dynamic is going to eat away from both of them, and that's where these guys are not high on my radar as far as they're all wide receiver twos for me, including Mike Evans.
Yeah, too many mouths
because I don't. Yeah, exactly. So that right there, that Antonio Brown dynamic is going to eat away from him, and then you have Gronk, right? You have Gronk there, and then you have what's his name coming back as well, right? To claim some tight end volume as well.
OJ.
So
you're talking about OJ.
Yeah,
O.J. Howard,
so
And
OJ, right?
You got OJ Howard, and you have Brate out
And
there.
you have Brate.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. There's just a lot of mouth out there to feed, but that's why I would draft these guys as a wide receiver too. That'd be my second wide receiver. I'm not running to get out. If Mike Evans fall to me, say for instance in the late third or something like that, and then I have like my tier of wide receiver. If none of my tier one wide receivers are there, yeah, Mike Evans would probably be one of the first in my tier two. But I have both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in my tier two.
All right, so here's the biggest question for Tampa issue, right? Fantasy wise, and you had that problem, Ren. Fournette or Ronald Jones?
Go ahead, man. hey, go.
I know you
go ahead, man.
So.
Oh no, I let PJ go with this one as first, man. Like, go ahead, man. Like, guys,
You got
this
Fournette
thing
or Ronald
is
Jones, man. Who? Because even in when we're doing drafts, their fantasy points and value, they're saying Ronald Jones is going to be that guy and not Fournette. But we've seen last year how Fournette took over. You think he's going to lose that running back one position?
Well, so not Fournette. Ronald Jones finished 13th in carries with 192, 978 rushing yards, just under 1,000, and
right.
He had 7 rushing touchdowns and 5.1 yards per carry. He had that massive run. They like Ronald Jones out there, but they also like Fournette, and he is a pass catching guy. To me, I would go with Ronald Jones. Drafting Ronald Jones, he also has a higher ADP than Fournette, so I would draft him first. He's good to be ideally your third back. So if you have like a Derrick Henry or a Cook or a I don't know, Zeke, and you slide in there and you get like maybe an Eckler or a Gibson, and then you could, this is if you're building a strong running back team, then you could add Ronald Jones as your third guy. Fournette to me is a flex guy. That's what he is. He's not a guy I would start every week, simply because of the defense. The defense is good, so Ronald Jones is going to get a lot of those carries, like you've seen. 192 carries, 13th in the league last year. So I think Ronald Jones is a safer pick.
For me, I don't want any of these backs because I don't know when to start them. I just don't know when to start either one of these guys. And let me explain to you why I said that. Because all right, so pass catching ability, Ronald Jones has none of that. Okay, but with that said, Giovanni Bernard just got there. Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? So I was thinking,
Jones likes to fumble the ball,
and Ronald Jones can't hold on to the ball. And then while I was saying, all right, it's going to be the two of them, and Fournette will get the catches, then you can use him as a flex play. Now you can't even use him as a flex play. Ronald Jones has gotten so many opportunities to be successful, and yet he is still not successful.
Yep.
Like year after year, when Jameis was there, he was the only back there, bro, and he still wasn't performing. He wasn't performing last year. Yo, he was getting way more carries than Fournette. Like, it was like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 type of thing. And yet he was still not performing. Or when he performed, he's fumbling the ball. Like, so I don't know when they and if you know how Bruce is, you fumble the ball once, you're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
And
You are
he's done that to
done.
him. And he's done that to him. He's done. And that's
He's done it
unfortunate.
multiple times to him. Like, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? Why some coach will look past that and put a player back in the game? Bruce doesn't. And I don't want to have in the middle of a game, right? In the middle of a game, feel good about Ronald Jones, and then he fumbles the ball in the first quarter, and then I got 2 points for the rest of the game. I'm just not doing that. I want nothing to do with Tampa Bay backfield, nothing, because I don't that's part of my reason. I want nothing. I'm not saying the guys are not good. I just don't want anything to do with that backfield, and it's just because of those reasons. Because hey, if Bruce plays a hot hand, and when if the ball becomes too hot and you fumble the ball, you're out. Like, it's just what it is.
Right,
it's just what it is.
Let's get to Carolina. Right, Carolina went 5-11 last year. Sam Darnold's on Carolina now, right? We talked about how he came from the Gase era and how he was trash in New York Jets. Is he trash? Is he not trash? Does he have a bounce back year in Carolina with the weapons that he have now? Way better weapons that he had in New York Jets.
I don't think anybody can say they have a true assessment of who Sam Darnold is, right?
Yeah.
Because in 2019 he had mono, right? First year he was a rookie. 2000 and he played decent. In 2019 he had mono, so he was out for majority of the season. And then last year he had the worst coach in NFL history, right? So it's like, have we seen his true potential? Nobody really knows, right? This is going to be our first opportunity to really see what he can do by himself using his talent. He's teaming up with one of his past weapons, you know what I mean? Which is going to be great because they were good on the Jets, like both of them. Like, granted, we always say that what's his name come on in the end of it, like in December, like November, December. That's where he comes on and just like set the world on fire. You know what I mean? What's his name? His name is vacating me. Right? Robbie Anderson. Sorry, Robbie Anderson. Yeah. Right? Yeah. If you look at Robbie Anderson game, like he never when he played with Sam Darnold and on the Jets, he never really do much in like September and middle of October. But after that, those long bombs and stuff like that, he just becomes like a real asset for Sam Darnold, and them coming back together, knowing the timing and everything like that. I can see where both of them are going to progress with that. DJ Moore is, as you guys know, DJ Moore is a really good wide receiver, man. So Sam Darnold has better weapons here, man. Christian McCaffrey in that offense, and
adding Terrence Marshall, wide receiver, second round from LSU, and then also adding Chuba Hubbard. I think fourth or fifth.
I think Chuba's seeing the field. Sorry.
I think he will. I think he is that relief pitcher for.
I mean, he's coming for a one player or a two play,
I'm not saying he's going to be fantasy value or anything like that, but I think he's going to be that relief pitcher for C-Mac, especially if he gets hurt. Needs some time off that field, because I don't think they can actually allow C-Mac to continue to have the carries that. Yeah,
they can't overuse him as they did in 2019. And just broke his body down. Like I don't think this coaching staff is going to do that. I think, I agree with you. He's going to be a relief back for sure. But back to Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold has a better running back, right? A better wide receiver core, right? In those three wide receiver, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and either David Moore or Terrence Marshall.
Shai Smith out there.
Robbie Anderson actually had a really good year. He finished 8th in targets and 8th in receptions. He just didn't have the touchdowns. He outperformed DJ Moore both in targets and both in receptions. DJ Moore was more of the long guy last year. So I'm interested to see how it's going to pan out again this year. But I think that this situation reminds me of Cooper Kupp and Woods situation, a similar 1A, 1B. But the difference is that you have C-Mac who wasn't there last year, and I think he's going to cut into those targets.
No, I agree with you. I think they're 1A, 1B on that team for sure. But the thing that, all right, as you said, DJ Moore is like, he played the long pass, right? Who was Bridgewater was their quarterback last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bridgewater game is not long ball. So, but Sam Darnold has an arm. So Sam, I'm expecting DJ Moore to go ahead, but these two guys played long. So I'm expecting DJ Moore to increase on targets, increase on reception, increase on touchdowns, with Sam Darnold being the quarterback. And I feel like we're sleeping on this offense, and I think this offense is actually going to be a really, really good offense.
They worked on their defense in additions too. So Denzel Perriman and Hassan Reddick, obviously first rounder Jason Horn. So they're building their defense to play against this division. Why do you think Robbie Anderson is so much cheaper than DJ Moore in drafts?
Because Sam Darnold's arm.
And also name.
And the name. I don't think they're that far apart, bro. Personally, I think they should be closer than what ADP is suggesting.
Right.
Yep.
I really think they're closer than what ADP is suggesting because let's see. What do you have? You have the ADP up for Sam Darnold right now? Not Sam Darnold. Robbie Anderson.
They were very close.
I think Robbie's in around what wide receiver is Robbie actually? But as far as
Robbie Anderson ADP is like 88.
88.
And
DJ's has to be in the 40s.
Yeah, so Robbie Anderson is coming off as the 37 wide receiver off the board. That's significant. I don't think he's that low because honestly, man, there are a lot of players that I would draft Robbie Anderson over. Holy crap!
And DJ Moore is 64 overall.
Yes, so he's going he's the 26th wide receiver off the board. So you're telling me that there are 10 different. There's a 10 wide receiver difference between those players. I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson?
I think Robbie Anderson is a steal, bro. I think because of where you're drafting him, where his value is. I think Robbie Anderson is a steal, and not only because he's a steal because of a couple of reasons. He has the familiarity with Sam Darnold, right? You saw the coaching staff actually coach Robbie Anderson in college, right? Yep. So they already know what Robbie Anderson can do. So those are a lot of key things that you have to look at when you're looking at these players. So I think Robbie Anderson is the steal in that offense. Considering that I know that DJ Moore is going significant. DJ Moore is going in the 6th round. Robbie Anderson is going in the 8th. You know what I mean? So the value on Robbie Anderson, I think, is great. I would pick Robbie Anderson, to be honest with you, over probably a Will Fuller, a Juju. I mean,
Debo Samuel,
Debo,
Smith.
But there's a lot.
All these guys ahead of
all these guys.
DJ Chark, T. Higgins,
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, then DJ Moore. I would take Jamar Chase. But I would actually probably take Robbie Anderson over DJ Moore.
Yeah. I would take Robbie Anderson over Chase Claypool. I'm sorry. I would take.
Yeah, over Chase Claypool. Yeah.
So we got,
but not over Jamar Chase though.
No, not over Jamar Chase. Not over Jamar Chase.
So we got Atlanta Falcons, right? Obviously,
your boy.
He fell last in the division. Julio was gone now, right? So now it's Calvin Ridley and Pitts out there, who they drafted in the 1st round, 4th overall, right? Matt Ryan is still there. Are the best days of Matt Ryan gone, or he still got years left in him?
Matt Ryan is still there. Matt Ryan still have a lot of games underneath his belt. Matt Ryan and his weapons are gonna be so fantasy friendly because what? They did some things. They drafted some players on the defense, but I don't think that's enough. Just how bad they were last year. They drafted 2 corners, in Avery and Darren Hall, right? So they drafted 2 corners. That was one of their biggest holes last year. Were corners, and these corners are going to come in, but they're rookies, man. Some of these, they're going to go face Tampa Bay twice a year, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to think about this. Right. You have to think about like all of that stuff, man. I think the offense is going to be the same. I think there's a lot of fantasy value on the offense. And I think Matt Ryan is going to produce just the same. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a ridiculous asset. I don't think, even though Julio's gone, I don't think the offense lost that much luster, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
Now, is with Mike Davis being the addition here, PJ, is he the cheapest 3-down back available?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's fantasy value. I can't even.
Yeah, ridiculous fantasy value. Who was the quarter? We were just talking about a running back. I would take him over Ronald Jones for sure. I would take him.
We were talking about Alvin Kamara at that point.
Yeah. But just the guys that were mentioned before, like he's higher than a Ronald Jones. He's high. I like him a lot, man. I like Mike Davis in this offense a lot. He's going to get a lot of those goal line work. They're going to score. They're going to get down the field. So you want a guy that is going to get those carries. There's not much competition there for him. So I think he's a major steal.
Major steal. I can't express how much of a steal that is. Where did Gurley finish last year?
And he can catch the ball too.
And he can catch the ball. Yeah.
See,
not bigger too, so you know he's going to be going through that hole.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he can So he has hands and he can go through the hole. So if they don't pick up another running back in that offense, I'm telling you, that's a nice steal. He's going round right now? Let's see. He's going really late, man.
Really late. He's like
really late. And
the guys that are ahead of him, ADP wise, Mustard, Gaskin. I think it's they're on the same splitting.
Yeah, the same wavelength right there.
James Robinson, David Montgomery. These are the guys. Miles Sanders, Swift. David,
for a three down back. Like, I don't understand why is he going in the fifth round.
Jacobs, like, I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, if I had the choice between Mike Davis, say for instance, they don't pick up anybody else, and Mike Davis is the one going in the league as a lone back. If I have the choice between Raheem and Mike Davis, I'd probably choose Mike Davis because he's going to get the volume. See, Mustard has, is going to have competition out there. I understand it's a great offensive line, and I understand it's a run-first team. I will look at Mike Davis over. I'll take Mike Davis over David Montgomery. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, I would take him over Josh Jacobs. I would take him over Miles Sanders. I would take him over Swift. I would take him over
over there. Yeah,
I would take him over Clyde Hillier.
Yeah, so I like that, man. I like that. So that's where I'm at.
He should be your Batman on your fantasy team for running backs. He should be your number 2 to give a solid.
He's a number 2. Right now he's getting drafted as a number 3, but Mike Davis is a number 2. If you get Mike Davis and Atlanta did not pick up another running back, yes, he's gonna be a really, really good asset. He's going to be better than what Todd Gurley was last year. And Todd Gurley was getting a bunch of touchdowns, and he wasn't getting any yardage. If you notice, they really used Todd Gurley in the, you know what I mean? So I expect Mike Davis to come in and have that volume of wide receiver. Wide receiver, running back. That's going to be so, and that's the thing. That volume is king. Volume is king when it comes to running back. And he's going to get the volume, man. And he can pass the ball. He's the only really real back they have out there. Yeah, it's great.
Now, we got, like we said, the additions to Kyle Pitts being added on here, Julio Jones being gone, Ridley's out there, Gage is out there now, Hurst is out there. With Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley, you think they're going to ball out in 2021 fantasy-wise? Or?
Yeah, I think Ridley...
Calvin Ridley is a tier 1 for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ridley finished as maybe the number 1 receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, he's in the top 5. I'm telling you right now, Calvin Ridley is in top 5 of wide receivers right now. Like, there's no ifs, buts, or maybe about it. Calvin Ridley is gonna be so good. It's not even a joke, bro. Like,
it's gonna be crazy.
And to be honest with you, man, Gage is not a bad wide receiver. You know what I mean? He's not a bad wide receiver. I think Gage will, because he performed when Julio was out. When Julio was out, Gage performed. You know what I mean? It's not like Gage wasn't doing anything. You know what I mean? Gage was a good Robin to Calvin Ridley Batman when Julio was out. So now there's no more Julio and Kyle Pitts, dude. Man, I feel like that boy is gonna. A lot of people are saying that as a tight end, he's getting overdraft. Where he's going, like he's going in the 4th or 5th round right now. I don't think he's getting overdraft because they're not really going to use him as a tight end. I think Hurts is still the tight end, but they're just going to have the title of the tight end on the pitch, and there's more pitch all over the formation.
Calvin Ridley last year was 7th in targets and 4th in receiving yards. I think he's going to be top 3 in targets and number 1 in receiving yards.
Yeah. All right, man. So
hey, just a side note before we. Seems like Beverly just got a technical.
Yeah, I mean that's not surprising at all. It's expected. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing aggressive as hell. He's playing aggressive as hell, and
that's how
he just
talks.
I know. I like his defense, but sometimes he just get over aggressive.
Yeah,
over aggressive, bro. Well, anyways, let's move on with the show, man.
Let's go into Locker Code mail real quick before we go ahead and do the NFC South draft here. We got Endorf 22. He wants to know, who do you draft in a regular redraft? Cooper Kupp or Tyler Lockett?
Cooper Kupp.
Why?
More consistency.
Yeah, exactly. More consistency. Dak can pass the ball, and he likes Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry, what am I thinking about? Stafford. I was like, I pull back. Cooper, yeah, it's more consistency. Stafford is going to feed these guys, man. Wide receivers, when Stafford is healthy and the wide receivers are healthy, they get volume. Yeah. No matter how you slice it. They all the wide receivers.
Remember?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like he was a silent killer. I dropped him, and it was a mistake by me, and I was like, man. Because that boy came on at the end, to the end of the year, like gangbusters. I think you picked him up, right, C?
Yep. Yes, I did.
So Cooper Kupp is going to be more consistent in the middle portion of the field, and I think that's where the volume. The thing about Lockett is way too inconsistent for me. This, as we said it on Battle Mondays, where look. He will give you 2 touchdowns and 110 yards in one game, and then next game he will give you 20 yards, 2 receptions. Yep. Like I can't keep those kind of players in my lineup all the time. Like that actually aggravates me, to be honest.
Very aggravating.
Right, so we got Big J. Next question is keeper league: Henry or Barkley?
Henry.
All that's Henry. Right.
Henry. Let me explain to you why I say Henry. Better offensive line, more volume. You know what I mean? And now that they can't stack the box like they used to, I think Henry's going to have easier lanes to run through compared to Barkley. I don't know what Daniel Jones is going to come with. Yeah, they have a plethora of weapons. They always have wide receivers, but
he's coming off of an injury.
And he's coming off of an injury, and that's major for me.
We got Evan. Would you trade DK and Janu for Kelsey in a dynasty league?
No.
I know you're a no on that, PJ.
Yeah. Kelsey. One Kelsey's older. He's the oldest of the 3, and then DK and Kelsey almost cancel each other out, and then you have Janu as well. That doesn't make any sense. I would keep DK and Janu.
So if the person that has Kelsey is the one making the trade, he's
winning.
He's wrong for that. But if it's the person that has DK making the trade, man, I don't like to call people an idiot, but you're not really looking at what. Compare their numbers, man. Just compare Kelsey and DK's numbers. They're almost similar. Kelsey is a little bit higher, but at the same time, man, DK is gonna be DK is only improving year after year after year. Yeah, we haven't. I don't feel like we've seen the ceiling of DK yet. We have seen Kelsey's ceiling. Kelsey's ceiling is what he's been doing for the past two seasons.
DK is going to be incredible.
DK is going to be like,
and
I project DK
is there, and Tyler is getting older. There's no other receivers.
And then even Janu, like he's going to get some volume and some workout in
I don't know.
In New
England.
It's too many tight ends out there. I mean,
they're short. They love short passes.
Yeah, they do.
Especially because Cam likes tight ends.
Yeah.
Cam. Tight end. Remember Greg?
Yeah, exactly. He likes tight ends. So, and he likes big body players. So he, you know what I mean. And then Cam.
So we got BJ, man. Who are some sleepers you think you could have that could have a big year this year?
Robbie Anderson. We were just talking about him. Sleepers that could have a big year. You look at
Pittman's out there too. That's falling real late, and I think he could actually have a big year. I think
Pittman,
a big steal. Round 13, 14, slipping down there. So
I agree with you 100%.
Mike Davis, we talked about as a big steal too.
All right. When you say a big year, are you saying better than the year they had before, or projected out of the roof? Like they're leaving from a wide receiver 3 to a wide receiver 1 type.
Better than the year they had before. It's just a steal. Like it's just
a steal.
Somebody that's under the radar that you're not expecting. Who do you think that would be?
DJ Shark.
Yeah, I think DJ Shark. A lot of people are down on DJ Shark this year, and I think he's going to have a monster season. With the new quarterback and everything like that, new coaches and everything like that. Another sleeper that I think, as far as wide receiver go, I know a lot of people are not looking at it, and I'll probably mad at myself for saying this. I think Russell Gage is going to have a good year this year. I think Russell Gage is going to be a really good wide receiver 2 to Ridley 1. I think he's just going to take the Ridley role, and he's going to have a lot of fantasy value this year. The other, I know this is not necessarily a sleeper, but I project him to finish in the top 3, top 4. Again, Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
I think Logan Thomas as a tight end is going to be a good tight end this year. They have a better quarterback now. They improved their line. It's just gonna, and they have, you have more wide receivers to take the pressure away from the running, and I just think he's gonna just have a nice season this year. What about you?
I got two. I got two that I'm thinking about, and we spoke about one guy before, Raiders, Brian Edwards.
He's
a good sleeper, right? Because we were
injuries what,
but it's the
injuries what took him out last year. I agree. Injuries what took him out last year, so I think. He is going to be a good one too. I agree with you 100%.
And Edwards are falling down in the 13th round, but
they're
Edwards before
Ruggs. Yeah.
The next guy I'm going to say tight end, guy that I don't like, but there's nobody out there. I'm going to go Evan Ingram, right? Because
I don't like that.
Here's the reason why. Galladay's hurt.
We don't know that though.
We don't know nothing. Galladay is Kawhi, bro. So right now, he's hurt. It's Kawhi in the NFL.
I think Evan Ingram has had multiple opportunities to prove himself. Kind of like what Randy was saying about Ronald Jones. Last year was one of those opportunities to be that guy, and he didn't show that. With the additions that they made and Saquon coming back, I wouldn't touch him at all. I would stay far away from him.
I think he's going to be one of those guys. But
so, no, I've been reading up on some news and all that stuff. There's a slight possibility that Deshaun play this year. It's a slight possibility.
That who?
Deshaun Watson play this year.
I got
and
and that'd be a great sleeper.
And no, I think I understand him. No, it's not him that's a sleeper. I think even though he said he doesn't want to play for the Texans, I think his best bet is to play for the Texans this year if they grant him. Because his court case is after the season, right? After the Super Bowl. So unless the NFL is going to put him on the commissioner exempt list, like he's going to play, right? And if he plays, the best thing for him is to play for the Texans. Because to be honest with you, a lot of teams won't, because they don't know what the outcome is going to be. They're really renting him for a year, and then they probably have to figure out what they're going to do the next year. You know what I mean? So I don't think a lot of teams want to take that chance, not knowing how this whole court thing is going to play out. And if he plays for the Texans, I think Cooks again, man. You're going to see, if you want to see.
I don't see him playing for the Texans. I think the organization is done with him. I think if he does play, it will be for a different team. It's just now his value has decreased tremendously as far as what they're trading for. It won't be a
right. That too.
Picks.
That too.
It'll probably be like a third or fourth round, because at the end of the day, hey, he may be suspended for the year next year. He won't be suspended for 2 years, but he'll be out for 1 year. So you're renting him for his contract
for a year.
It's a 5-year contract, 4-year contract. So you're just paying 1 year off. That's
right. Right.
He'll be back.
Couple players I want to run through real quick that I think are going to have some good years. To answer that question, Carson Wentz, I think is going to have a monster year. He's pretty low on ADP. Mike
he's not even being picked up.
Exactly. Mike Gesicki, I think, is going to have a good year.
Tua, I think is going to have a monster year. I know you guys are sleeping on Tua, but just not because I'm a Dolphin fan, but just the way how the offense is right now, like they're forcing the ball. Like they want him to pass the ball downfield, and just if you notice on the players that they drafted speed more than anything else in the wide receiver. Like all these wide receiver have speed except for Parker. Like all of them have speed. So I think he's gonna. I can see Tua like propel. He's going like quarterback 15 right now. I can see him propel in the top 10 somewhere easily.
Mike Williams too is a receiver. I think people should look.
Yeah, Mike Williams is definitely on my radar.
Definitely, especially after what he did last season. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Who else you got? And then who the quarterback is? That's the other thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Quarterback left the pass.
Who's your last sleeper, P?
That was it, Mike Williams.
Yeah. Dynasty League from Dirk. Pittman or Ruggs?
Pittman.
Ooh, you stuck there, bro.
Yeah.
Really? I would go.
Yeah, I guess I go Pittman. I would go Pittman.
Man.
Yeah, I go Pittman.
All right, man. So let's get to the draft. NFC division, your favorite.
Ooh, here we go.
What do you got, man?
What position we starting with?
Quarterback.
You're gonna start at quarterback.
Let's go quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Who's starting? Who?
Not me.
I'm gonna go.
I'm going Brady.
Jesus. You're going Brady?
I'm going Brady.
You're going Brady, you said, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to try something new. I'm going to go. No, I can't go him because I want. Oh, man, this is tough. Actually, I'll go. Jesus.
It's really tough, man. It's really tough. Like,
I'll go Matt Ryan. This is what it is. I'll go Matt Ryan.
I'm going to go Brady, too. And I feel like me and
I didn't want to have the same with you guys.
Yeah, I think our team is gonna be the same. So Brady, tight end. I know you're gonna go Pitts, right?
I need you to write it down. Write it down for me, man. So I got Brady. Ren got Brady, and you got Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
All
right. So
tight end. I'm gonna go Pitts.
Yeah, that's easy. Tight end Pitts.
I forgot about the tight end spot, huh?
That's why I was like, man, Matt Ryan was tempting, and I was like,
yeah.
But who's out in the Saints for a tight end again?
Nobody.
Right now, we don't even know.
Nobody.
Like,
you don't even know, right?
Yeah.
And Panthers is the same situation.
Yep.
So give me Gronk.
I figure you were going to go that way. What about go see where you going? Wide receiver, running back, man. Go.
Oh, wide receivers, Mike Thomas.
Same.
Michael Thomas.
Yep.
Same.
And then Christian McCaffrey as the running back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, I knew our team was going to be identical. To be honest with you. But man, the tight end in this division is where
the deciding is the
part that is struggle for me because you could go Brady, Ridley, you know what I mean? They're like, you know what I mean, and still get McCaffrey, but who are going to be a tight end, right?
Who's going to be a tight end, yeah.
Right. So the two best quarterback in that divisions are Matt Ryan and you could even go. I mean, technically, you could even go Kamara as your running back. You know what I mean? You forgetting that Kamara was there.
Yeah.
You can even go Kamara as your running back. You can even, you know what I mean?
Mix it up.
Like a Ridley, Kamara. Like, so there's a lot of ways we could have gone with that. It's just that tight end piece is we're all trying to get Pitts, and then McCaffrey is so profound that we all trying to go McCaffrey as well.
McCaffrey,
yeah. So, but yeah, it's good, man. That's good. But I would like to have Ridley. I would prefer Ridley over Thomas, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Same.
agree with you.
I would prefer Ridley over Thomas, but
it's just
how the dynamic is just
that Pitts, man. It's that Pitts, man.
That Pitts is gonna be a beast, man. A beast.
Yeah, man. So that's it for the show, my dudes, man. Man, thank you for listening to Locker Code with C. Ren and PJ. Shout outs, my dude. Shout outs.
Shout out to my boy Darren. His birthday is July 3rd.
Shout out, Darren.
Yeah, so happy birthday, my dude. So shout out to Darren. Also have another buddy of mine, Amain. His birthday is this weekend as well. Yo, happy birthday to them two dudes, man. Yeah, for real. And July 4th weekend, man. A big weekend this weekend. A lot of people are asking me, so
You jerking?
grill getting is the grill getting lit? Like
I feel like you haven't jerked in a minute, bro.
I know, man. It's been a minute, but we'll talk off here, man. I haven't made that decision yet. I'm still contemplating if I want to go ahead and light the grills up for this weekend. So I'm still playing with that aspect. I don't know yet. Still working it out in my head.
All right, cool, man. Yo, shout outs to everybody, man. Shout outs to Big Stan and VJ for dropping through on Locker Code Fantasy
Battle Mondays, man.
Mondays, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope. Man, I'm trying to get the commissioners in next week or somebody in next week. We're gonna make this thing lit next week. You know what I mean?
Lit next week. Yeah, I agree with you. We gotta get either one of the commission and have them go up against somebody. You know what I mean? Either one of the commission we need to get in. Either for
we can't have them go against each other.
Yeah, man.
They don't want to go against each other.
They don't want to go against each other?
No, they don't want to go. They don't want to go against each other.
Man,
so I already. I know. That would have been. That would have been pretty cool. I'll see what kind of convincing I can do this weekend to see if I can get both of them going up against each other. But yeah, we'll reach out to a couple of people out of the league and see where they are. It's good to get even Kyle on it, like, you know what I mean, their brother. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Yep, like I said, man, check us out on Locker Code on Twitter, Locker Code Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. Check out the website, man. All the updates with waiver wire pickups, matchups, news, and more. Started waivers, sit and starts. Everything's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then we have we're back in the studio next week, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're back in the studio.
Yeah, we should be back in the studio next week. Yeah, so get to see you guys again, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace out.
Later.